What's up, guys? Welcome to the Behind the Golf Brand podcast. I have my good friend Brandon Cubitt from New Nine Golf, and I'm really excited to have him on the show. He's been blowing up on YouTube, and you guys probably have seen a lot of his videos. He does a lot of head-to-head stuff lately with drivers, which has really done really well. But he's been around the game for a while, and I'm really excited to have him on the show, talk to him kind of about his life and how he got to where he's at and how he's been growing his brand. And welcome to the show.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for having me, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Good to be on.
So I told him earlier, I'm like, I've been a fan from afar because he had really good, like even like 2 years ago, I was watching a lot of your old videos. Like you had good video production, even though like I felt like it was way better than mine. Like you'd be outside the course. And I'm like, oh, this guy's got something going on. But I feel like, as a new YouTuber, it's hard, right? Wouldn't you say?
So hard. YouTube's a beast, man. People get their toes wet on, Instagram, TikTok. They have some success. Maybe a video does, 20, 30, 40,000, 100,000 views. And they're like, oh, I could do the same thing on YouTube. They are so different. It's not even funny that these algorithms are running the game. And it's funny, man. But yeah, YouTube is a grind. So I appreciate you saying those nice things, but I can totally relate to what you're doing because it's hard and it's a science. But it's been fun at the same time, and you can never stop learning. That's kind of what we're trying to do on our channel.
So when did you start your channel?
I think our YouTube channel's been up for maybe just over 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. We thought we wanted to do a podcast. So we started, I think our very first video we released was a podcast that I did talking about relating kind of like golf to business or golf to life. We started to dip our toes in that. Then we thought, hey, why don't we try to do some reviews? So we started reviewing products and those started to get momentum. And then we kind of just kept with the videos that were performing well. We didn't want to keep doing, so my podcast views had, 50 views, 40 views, and they were my aunts and uncles. And I wasn't really growing a golf following. And then we got into the golf product side. And that's just such a huge niche in itself that since these videos were doing good, we kind of doubled down and continued to do product review videos. And we still do those. They're still some of our highest performing videos. So that's kind of, how we started. So yeah, about 2 years ago we started, and yeah, we're still going today.
So I guess my first question is like, where are you located?
So I'm in Calgary, Canada, which is not the best place in the world to have a golf YouTube channel because we are covered. We're covered in snow for 6 months of the year. So I'm sure a lot of your listeners are Americans. So we're kind of like the Colorado of Canada. We're in the Rocky Mountains. We're a couple hours north just of Montana, but we have some crazy weather here. The summers are amazing. Our golf season's probably only from middle of April to maybe October 1st to the 15th kind of thing. So for us to have a golf YouTube channel, we're recording inside a lot. We have to travel, which is amazing, but yeah, I would love to be where you are in Arizona so I could have golf at my fingertips year round.
You need to come visit, man. We need to do some stuff together.
I'd love to. I'm in. I love that area.
Fun. So are you a professional golfer or are you just a normal guy or what's your deal?
So I am not a professional. I carry like a scratch handicap. The lowest my handicap was like a +2. So I was shooting in the 60s almost regularly.
Holy crap.
Compete. Yeah, I compete in like a lot of amateur stuff, and I love playing amateur events. So like I'm a member at a golf course, and to play in like men's night and the club tournaments, they don't offer it to professionals. You can't be a pro to play in there. So I've kept my amateur status because these events I love to play. We have a lot of really good Canadian amateur events that I play in. I've never placed anything. Like last year, I made I qualified for our men's mid-am. So the Alberta mid-am, Alberta being the province, similar to like a state. It was a big deal for me to qualify into the mid-am, and then I got injured. I had to withdraw, so that was really unfortunate.
How'd you get hurt?
I had kind of some weird injuries for the last 2 years. Golfers would know, right in my groin, like kind of right near my hip flexor. It was just flaring up nonstop. I couldn't get it under control, and I got to the point where I couldn't walk. I was on like the 14th hole, and I had to limp off of the course. It was, really frustrating. But this year, knock on wood, the body's feeling good. Golf's feeling good already.
You've been swinging a lot of clubs. I know that.
Tons of drivers. Yeah, for sure. It helps to swing all those clubs throughout the winter to keep my swing in form. I've had a lot of people ask if I want to go pro. Right now, I just don't see the benefit. Like, I think as a kid, I always wanted to be on the PGA Tour. Like, how cool would that be if you could play any
Yeah,
professional sport?
exactly.
Like, PGA golf would just be unreal. And then the reality sinks in that you watch guys. So we have a Canadian golf tour. So like guys like Tony Finau have come up from there. A lot of guys, Joel Damon played on the Canadian tour. These guys are so good, and they're shooting 61, 62, 63, sleeping out of the trunk of their car, driving across the country, playing in these mini tour events with the hopes of qualifying to get into Q school, with the hopes of getting on PGA Tour. And I'm nowhere near that good. So I'm happy to just keep my amateur status, win money off my buddies every now and then. But I think I'll probably just stay amateur.
So did you grow up in Canada then? Are you from Alberta?
Yeah, born and raised, grew up here. Canada's obviously a huge hockey country. So I grew up playing pretty high level hockey my whole life. So it was like hockey in the winter and then golf in the summer. So my parents golf, my brother golfed. It was one of those things that we could do as a family. That summertime we would travel to the Rocky Mountains to British Columbia, some beautiful golf out there. And that was like our summer. So we would just golf all summer, and then winter came and we'd play hockey. So yeah.
So all right, so you grew up in Canada. Did you play like golf as a kid, and like, is that how you got good? Did you play with your dad, or how'd you get into golf?
So my parents were like, they didn't get into golf until later in life. They never really had lessons or anything, but they enjoyed being outside. I didn't really get into golf until I started working in golf retail. So one of my first jobs as a kid, I was like 13, 14. I got a retail job at a Nevada Bob's, which is kind of like
I'm from
the golf
Nevada,
shop.
Bob's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I worked there for like 2-3 years. And then like my best friends came from working in that store. We were all young in high school together, and to just be around new golf equipment, because you're 13, 14 years old, you can't afford the newest Titleist or TaylorMade. You can't
No, and
afford
you
any of
want
that
to,
stuff.
and you can't even ask your parents. They're like, "Get the hell out of here! You're gonna get these hand
Exactly.
down."
Yeah, so being around a ton of golfers, our bosses were better golfers, so I just learned from them. It was always a competition. We're doing, if the store is empty in December, we're doing putting challenges or chipping challenges, long drive challenges. So that's where I really like found a deep love for the game of golf, and it's been like that ever since.
So then did you go to college, or like after you got out, or what did you do?
Yeah, so I went to college for broadcasting. So this kind of ties it all into what I'm kind of doing
This
now.
is why you're so damn good at what you're doing.
I appreciate you saying that, but it almost has nothing to do with to getting to this point. A little bit. So I wanted it. I played high level hockey, and I had this pipe dream that maybe I could play professional hockey. Injuries again kind of got the best of me, and I wasn't able to continue playing hockey. And I didn't know what
I
I
love
wanted
hockey.
to do. I was never a great student. I was good at gym,
Hockey.
and gym and music were kind of my two decent subject. Big math guy, wasn't a science guy. So I thought how cool it would be to be on like Sports Center. If I can't be a professional athlete, maybe I could talk about professional athletes.
Yeah.
So I went to college for broadcasting, so radio, television, broadcast news. And that helped me get in front of a camera. So that definitely helps me with my camera presence, being able to talk to a camera, talk to an
Yeah,
audience.
you have really good presentation skills, dude.
I appreciate
For
that.
sure.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Paul. So, kind of a side story. While I was going to school for broadcasting, I landed an internship in Los Angeles working for Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue.
I
So
remember
Motley
them.
Crue, the big band,
Yeah.
right? So he had his own radio show, it was syndicated across the entire US and Canada. And I ended up working on that show doing his video production. So he had a show 5 days a week that, Ozzy Osbourne would come in, or Kiss would come in, or all these big rock stars would come in, and he would do
Wow.
interviews. And then these guys would sometimes play like an acoustic set. So I'm like fresh in broadcasting school. I knew how to work a camera. I knew how to edit. So I would film all of this stuff with Nikki Sixx and the radio show, and then I would put it up on their YouTube channel. So that was kind of my first real life introduction into filming, editing, posting. And this is like the the infancy of
What
social
year was
media.
this?
This would be like 2012, 2011, 2012.
Oh yeah.
So like Twitter had
The
like
baby
just
years of
started
YouTube
that
too,
year.
and like no one. I mean, people were doing YouTube, but they weren't like, this is not a job.
Totally. Yeah. So that was my first real look at doing this type of stuff. I'm like, oh my God, I've made it. I'm 20 years old. I'm living in Los Angeles. This is like my dream come true. I was a huge rock fan, and Nikki Sixx was like an idol. It was just like super surreal. And then being Canadian, they couldn't hire me full time because they wouldn't give me a working visa. So they sent me back.
Oh man.
Sent me back home. So I had like the absolute best couple months of my life working on this show, and then sent back home and without a job. So yeah,
So then what
that's
happened?
so then so Alberta, this is such a long story. It's got nothing to do with
I don't
golf,
care. We
but
got time, man. I want to hear the story.
it's like my life in a nutshell. I came back to Canada and I thought maybe I could finish my degree. So the broadcast news was only a 2-year diploma, but I could do 2 more years and get my degree in like communications. And I thought having a degree would help me get a job in the real world. So my school could transfer to Australia. So they would recognize my credits. I could go to Australia. I'm like, that would be a cool life experience. I'm not married. I'm not dating anyone. How cool would that be to go to Australia? I could bring my golf clubs. I could probably golf year round in Australia. I got the bill for tuition for it was 18 months, a year and a half in Australia. And it was like $80,000 US. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to go into debt. 80 grand to go to school for a year and a half and probably not even make 80 grand a year and doing something communications, but I still want to go to Australia. So where I live, Alberta is a big oil and gas province. So we're kind of like Texas in that sense, that we supply the majority of oil in Canada or worldwide even. So I tried to get a job, or I did get a job working on like an oil rig, because that was the quickest way to make a whole bunch of money. So I went out to like the middle of nowhere. I was working on a drilling rig, and I am not like a labor intensive guy. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I'm a sales guy. Like I can talk to people, I can sell stuff.
Yeah.
But to be like young and naive, and I didn't have a fantastic work ethic. I'm working on this drilling rig that drills for 12 hours a day for 14 days in a row. So from sun up till sundown, you are doing
it's like
physical
hell.
labor.
You're like, this is like the worst place I could actually be at right now.
I think at the time I would have rather have been in jail than working on this drilling rig. So I lasted
you stay the whole 14 days?
I stayed 14 days. I think I cried myself to sleep at least 7 of those 14 days. It was hell, man. So respect to those guys that do it. It's just not for me. I got out of there, came back to where I was living at the time in Calgary, got a job in the bar. I was bartending. I met my wife there. So everything happens for a reason, and I'm glad it did. But yeah, kind of in a nutshell, that was my couple years, my early 20s.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, those are the best times of your life, but you still have like no idea what you're doing, and you're just like waiting for like the thing to happen and figure out like, oh, what's that path gonna be? And then, I mean, I did the opposite. Like, I went to law school, and so like I took in like a ton of debt for going to law school, and like now I'm not even doing that anymore. So it's like, okay, well, I just tell kids nowadays, and my kids are like, I'm like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they're like, I want to be a YouTuber. I'm like, all right, cool. Whatever you guys need help with, I'll help tell you whatever I've learned. I'll teach you guys. Let's start a channel. We'll like figure it out, whatever. And then I have other friends' parents who be like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm like, okay, well, you enjoy being a CPA. That sounds like a lot of fun. Like nothing against CPAs. There's so many, but yeah, like it's not the same world that we grew up in. It's a different world now.
And it's so true. And I think our parents grew up, those baby boomers knowing, you got to get a degree. A degree is a good paying job, secure benefits, all that stuff. And then I saw my parents do that their entire life, and they're commuting 2 hours each day to work, and they're, cranky when they get home. And I think it was just a life that I didn't want to live. And I think young kids are so impressionable by their parents that their parents says, you need to go to school, you need to get a job. And if deep down you don't think that that's what your future looks like, you should definitely shoot for the stars. So we could both be probably further along if we didn't commit to school for those years, but I guess better late than never.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, because I like started this like a couple years ago, and I just did it for fun. It was just fun. It was enjoyable. I never thought in a billion freaking years I'd be doing this like full time ever. And then like to leave my firm. I mean, it was just like, when I tell people that, like, wait, what do you do? Are you sure? Like, why'd you do that? That's stupid. I'm like, yeah, but it's different. Like, it's a different world. It's a different time. You know, I get to go play golf. I get to review cool products before they even come out. Like that's cool. Like I've been having people fighting all the time about money. No thanks.
Yeah. No
But
kidding. No, good for you.
so when did you start New Nine? Was it 2 years ago, or did you already have kind of like a New Nine thing happening before the show?
So New Nine was never supposed to be a media channel. New Nine is, excuse me, New Nine's pretty much turned into my own personal brand. New Nine was always supposed to be a clothing company that I walked into a pro shop. I saw Travis Matthews hat. There was a hat and a patch, and I said I could do that. Like I love golf stuff. I think I have decent taste.
You're like literally like that. You're like, I could literally do that. Like that's not just you talking out loud. I mean, and I'm wearing Travis Matthews right now, and I'm like, I mean, I like what they do, but I can make this shirt. Like, come on,
100%.
No,
you could for sure.
Like,
so I started back in like 2017, I think, is when I started like building or like making clothes. I had no experience in doing any type of clothing, styling, designing, manufacturing, any of that. But I found
were you a graphic designer, or do you have that kind of background where you can like come up with cool ass designs, or what?
None. Nope. I just outsourced. So I was in my kitchen. I was drawing logos, what I thought I could. I liked the idea of alliteration, New Nine, NN. I thought I could tie that all together. I thought I was so clever. Cool. And New Nine was something that I would say all the time on the golf course, that I'm notorious for shooting like 50 on the front nine and 34 on the back nine. Like I do it all the time, and that's my New Nine. So if I played like absolute trash on the front nine, I would say, okay, New Nine. Like let's forget about what happened.
That's a good motto. I mean, is that how you came up with the name too? Is like that's kind of like that's really cool. That's smart.
Yeah, so I would say that all the time. And then the more I thought about New Nine is that it's not necessarily just a golf term. Like New Nine relates to life. New Nine is learning from mistakes, trying to make ourselves better, keep moving forward, looking ahead, positive vibes. So it doesn't only relate to golf, but it also relates to life. So it's now kind of a model that I live by in life, that if I fuck up, I make a mistake, I don't like the way things are going, we just try to make ourselves better in the future. And that's kind of New Nine on and off the golf course.
Cool. That's really cool. I had no idea how you came up with the name. That's awesome. So you started the clothing brand 17, and then were you doing like what's it called? Like were you like getting it made there in Canada, or were you doing like online, like people buy it and it gets made online or whatever?
No, so it's funny what you learn after you make mistakes and go over hurdles.
Bro, I know I've done all this. Everything you're saying, I've done the same thing. So I'm like hearing this, I'm like, oh my God, I do the same thing. But how'd you do it?
Yeah, so I found blank hats from a supplier in Canada. They were Flex Fit. I think everyone sees Flex Fit Yupong. So I was buying blank Flex Fit Yupong hats. I found a patch manufacturer overseas. They were sending me the patches. I had the hats. Then I had to get someone to assemble them. I don't know.
I have a whole garage of those things.
So my hats, a lot of them, like I do a lot of rubber PVC patches. Smart. And I had to find like a shoemaker to put them on, because you needed a certain machine that you could get the needle through the rubber into the hat and get the glue.
Oh my God,
you tried to use the glue. Yeah.
I did the same thing. I went to a seamstress and I was like, how do I get this on here? And they're like, oh, and then I went to all these like little, seamstress around the area, and they're like, one lady's like, I can't do that. My machine can't do that. And I was like, okay, fine. And then I went to one, I'll do it for you, but it was like $8. I'm like, $8 is still a patch on a hat. Like I'm gonna make like no money on this hat. I'm like, no, this isn't gonna work. But go ahead.
No, so we started with hats, and I kind of started at a feel for hats. Guys locally would see my hats, they like my hats, and then they'd be like, oh, I have a buddy's golf tournament. There's 40 of us. Can you make us hats? So then I kind of had this side business just making hats for friends. But I wanted to keep it still New Nine. Like I didn't want to just be like behind the scenes. I wanted it to still be a brand.
You're not white labeling
these guys later down the road. Yeah, exactly. So hats were kind of a big thing. And then shirts were just so hard for me. I'm kind of like a clothing snob. Like I like nice clothing. I like nice materials. There's so many brands out there, maybe not even golf related, but any type of brand. You get a t-shirt and it's like a high school gym quality t-shirt. You put it in the dryer once.
Yeah, exactly. It's like $40.
Have a good fit. Yeah. So I was just like, I had the opportunity to print stuff like that, but I was just not happy with the quality. And if it's my name behind the brand. I want it to be something that I would buy myself. And at the end of the day, we want to make money too. So you want there to be decent margins in it. So I just wasn't comfortable selling what I was able to physically get my hands on. So then I thought I need to go straight to a manufacturer. I can't just keep buying like a Gilgian shirt, Gilgian hoodie, put my logo on it and then sell it and call it my own. I want my own New Nine tags. I want everything New Nine. I don't want anyone to think that this is like a relabeled
A
product.
relabeled Gildan shirt or New Level. What's it called? New Level or
New
whatever.
Level
The
or American Apparel. There's a whole
the
bunch of
American
blank.
Apparel.
Anyone can buy
Yeah.
blank stuff. Yeah. Right. So anyway, so it took me a long time to kind of, and it costs money too. Right. So I still have a full-time job. I'm still trying to pay my bills. And this is like my side hustle.
But wait, what were you doing before all this? What was your full-time job?
So I actually still have a full-time job. So I work
Doing
for a
what?
chemical. So I'm in chemical
Really?
sales. Yeah. So I've been there. This is going to be my 11th year working in
Oh,
chemical
wow.
sales. I'm
Do they know
very
about all
fortunate in
this?
what I've. No,
That's all right. I
one
mean,
guy does. One guy found me on YouTube, and I'm like, don't tell anyone. Like, just keep it to yourself, please. I've built up. So this is kind of a side story. In sales, I've built up a big enough customer base that I wake up and get sales. So I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying
yeah,
that to
you've
say that
earned
now
it.
I
Like you
have
residual
more
sales,
time
right?
to put to New Nine.
That's cool.
Exactly. So it took me 5 years of busting my
Yeah, yeah,
ass. I
work your
put New
ass
Nine
off
to the
to close
side. I'm
those
like, I need to
people.
build up this business. Exactly. So I'm still there basically because it keeps my lights on and it allows me to focus on turning this into my full-time gig, which we're so close. I probably could leave it, but I have it too good right now with my full-time job to just like leave. So I'm kind of just going to keep that tap on until it runs dry.
Smart man. I mean, that was me too, man. So I know. It's like, you probably you probably work like 16 hours a day right now, I would probably say, if not more. And with a baby, you probably get like no sleep. I know, right? Am I right or am I wrong? Like baby's
Yes.
asleep. All right, now I'm gonna go work on some script or figure out my, what the hell we're gonna do or whatever.
Yeah, well, to tie it back into clothing, what we were just talking about is now I have my own manufacturing. So I'm so excited. I have a huge drop coming in May that I finally have all my hoodies, my new hats, shirts, golf shirts. Like I finally have my line of clothes that I've been working on for 2 years. Backstory, when COVID happened, all these suppliers shut down. So instead of reselling stuff, I went directly to the manufacturer. Took me a year to find a good manufacturer or a couple of manufacturers, and then COVID happened. So for 2 years, I couldn't get anything over here. And that's why we started the YouTube channel, is that I said, okay, if I can't sell clothing or I can't sell this golf brand, I need to build a community. We started this YouTube channel to build a golf community. So I'm hoping now that we have this golf community, they would be interested in the clothing brand,
Supporting it. Yeah,
the
supporting it.
merch, right? So we're kind of just trying to tie it all together. But what you were talking about not sleeping at night is my manufacturing's overseas and they don't start working until like 3
10 o'clock at
a.m.
night.
my time,
Yeah.
right? So I'm constantly on WhatsApp talking to my manufacturer at 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, up again at 7 and doing it all day, every day. But I definitely have a good work-life balance, but you just can't get ahead in what we're trying to do if you just put minimal effort into it.
There's no way. I mean,
And
so how big is your team? Like who is New Nine? I mean, you're the face, obviously. I
yep.
see you as a camera person, right? With you. I see it in your videos. Like what's the deal?
There's just two of us. So my best buddy is Felix. He is my best friend, producer, editor. He is the quality behind New Nine. Him and I
Amazing
complement
job.
each other. Him and I complement each other very well, and we both see things differently. He's extremely analytical, and he'll study and he'll learn new tasks. And I'm out there trying to get business and trying to talk to manufacturers and trying to build relationships. And we both wear different hats. We complement each other very well.
Are they
But
New Nine hats? Just
yeah,
kidding. I was trying to plug your hat.
I appreciate it. But no, so we're just a two-man team right now. We're hoping to grow very soon because we've the list has gotten so big of the duties that need to be done, and we're starting to need help. We're starting to bring in revenue, so it's been a really fun journey. But he is the brains behind everything YouTube, related, at least from a quality standpoint. He's gotten so good, and he had no video, no editing experience 2 years ago. He learned it all
Really? Like he
himself.
just taught himself how to
Yep.
edit and
Nothing. He dabbled a little bit in maybe some like Photoshop and maybe some Illustrator, like just like for fun,
yeah.
like just like very, very, very minimally. And he started to learn. He took courses on how to become a filmmaker, how to edit, how to light, how to do audio. He's putting in so much work to get to where we are, and we're only getting better. That I really think that he's one of the best editors and shooters in the YouTube space, and we just need YouTube to recognize that.
Um, I could see that in your work in the last, I would say probably 9 months, you know, like I can see the level's gone up a lot. I mean, you were
I
not doing a
appreciate
bad
that.
job before, but I can see like the quality level of the shoot is completely different than it was even 6, 9 months ago. You know, the shoot, the editing, even your thumbnails have changed a lot too, which I mean, I'm assuming is probably helping a lot now with
Yeah,
your CTR.
it's hard to say. Like we have some videos, our best CTR videos are videos we released 2 years ago. It's just, it's kind of a guessing game, and
Bro, we gotta talk
YouTube's kind
offline about stuff like this because we could talk for hours about it.
yeah, but yeah, it's kind of a copycat world, especially in our niche right now. But I appreciate you saying that. So thanks, Paul.
It's hard. It's super hard in our niche. I feel like there's about, I mean, let's just be real. There's probably 20 good channels. Like, not even that many, maybe even less than that. Like, I'm saying good, like high quality, you know, and we can name them. We can go through the list if we wanted to, but everybody knows who they are, right? And then you
Yeah,
have the top dogs, the Rick Shields, the Good Goods, you know, and then it starts breaking down. It depends on what category you're in, too. And I really honestly believe that YouTube treats creators and they put you in silos. I really feel like that. And they go, oh, you're instructor dude, you're gonna go in this silo. And if you're review guy, you're in this silo. And if you're on course, you're in this silo. And it's like if all of a sudden Brandon started doing videos on instruction and then did the next day did a video on a course review, like they're not gonna, those videos are gonna do terrible. Am I right or am I
it's
wrong?
so true. No, you're 100% right, because that's exactly what's happening to our channel, which frustrates the
What's
hell out
happening
of
to my
me.
channel?
It's so
It
annoying.
has everybody. I
Yeah.
had the same conversation with David Maxfield. I don't know David Maxfield from Australia, but like we talked about this like 2 weeks ago on the phone. We're like, same thing. It's like, you know, you spend a lot of time on a new style of video. You're really, really proud of it. You're like, wow, you know, we did aerial drones and all this bullshit. And then it's like, it gets like 40 views. You're like, what the hell? You know? And
Well,
then
so
I do another product review and it's like, oh, it gets 5,000, you know, or something.
what I've learned about YouTube, and this is good for your knowledge, you probably already know it, or anyone that's listening that's maybe aspiring to do any type of content, is that subscribers are pretty much obsolete. They
Yeah, it's a
they
vanity metric.
subscribers are clout. Subscribers is just a number that you can say to a company that wants to work with you. Or if someone says, how many subscribers do you have? You're like, wow, I got 20,000, 30,000, 100,000 subscribers. If you look at the metrics of who's watching your video, 75% come from YouTube suggestions. They're people that aren't even
Browse.
subscribed
Yeah,
to your
browse,
channel.
right?
They open up YouTube, they watched a club review yesterday, they're going to see my video. So if in a video that I just released, I got 10,000 views in a day, only 800 of them are my subscribers. 9,000 of them are suggested
What
viewers.
percentage do you think? I mean, I can tell you mine. Like, what percentage of your videos? Because you, I mean, you probably look at your metrics every day, like I do. Are because you know there's like two metrics, right? It shows you like subscribe and not subscribed. What percent would you say on average is your subscribed view percent? Mine's like less than 5%.
It's a good question. Yeah, it's probably right around there. And I have more new viewers than I have returning viewers. And in a perfect
Yeah,
world, you'd have the
all the
same
time.
line of returning viewers and new viewers. But someone might have to see your channel 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 times before they hit the subscribe button. Or they may never. There's channels that I watch for 10 years and I'm not subscribed to the channel. I don't know why that is, but it's just it is kind of YouTube works. So subscribers are becoming way more obsolete, and you just have to make content that you think YouTube is going to suggest to your ideal viewer.
The
So getting
question
back to
is, what
putting
is
people
that
in a
content?
box.
Yeah.
So you're talking about YouTube putting you in a box. If it was up to me, I would never review a product. I don't like doing, well, I can't say I don't like doing product reviews because I do. I love golf products, but I would way rather shoot golf vlogs on a golf course. I would way rather
All
just
day long.
golf than
All day long.
do any other type of content. But
Yeah, like
I
Good
put out a
has it
golf
perfect.
vlog.
Yeah.
Well, and their quality is like the absolute best. Like we've studied so much good. We've talked to Colin Ross to try to get in some secrets and some tips on how he does tracers, how he uses a camcorder. Like we're gonna try so hard. We're putting almost all of our eggs in our basket this year and shooting really good, high quality golf vlog content to hopefully move into that lane successfully. Because to just
I mean,
shoot
there's
on a
only
cell
yeah,
phone
there's
or to
very
shoot
few
on a
people that
tripod
have,
behind
right?
you.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
And the problem is
look at Rick Shields.
you need a team, right? He's
You need a
like
team
he's a
with you
unicorn.
though. Well, that's it. You need a team. Like I saw Rick at the PGA show, and he had like 5 dudes with him. You know what I mean? Like 2 were filming him. Like he had the full entourage of
Yeah.
content creation around him. Which Rick's the
And
man.
we'll definitely get there. We'll get there. You and I both. We'll have a team in no time.
I mean, I have a small team, so right now I'll tell you how I do it. I shoot it myself, and I used to hire somebody to help me shoot it. But then I learned that like you lose all creative control if you just let somebody shoot it that doesn't do this like for a living. Like I'm telling you guys right now, don't go get like a wedding photographer or a videographer to shoot your YouTube video because they don't got a damn clue. And
Right.
like you're not gonna get a YouTube video. It's gonna be a nice. It'll look pretty. It'll look cool. Even if you do it for a brand, they'll be like, "Oh, it looks so great." You put it on YouTube, it's gonna tank. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've been shooting myself, and then I have like an editor and a graphic designer that work with me, and that's it. But
That's awesome.
I wish I had, somebody shooting me, but it's expensive. I mean, it's cool you have
It's
like
not
your
cheap.
partner.
Oh yeah, and like the like equipment is not inexpensive. Like we probably have like 30 grand of equipment that we've bought ourselves just to run this channel.
When you're shooting, I know it's like in the sim, you're shooting with 3 cameras, right? Looks like you're
Yep.
shooting with 3 cameras. You have like a side, a straight on, a side. Is it 2 sides and a straight on? Is that how you're doing it?
So we have a down the line cam, which is behind the mat facing the simulator, so you can see my swing. We have a face view that I can talk to, and then we have a third camera that is kind of like a 45-degree angle, so I can talk to both.
That's cool. And then how are you lighting it up? Are you guys bringing in lighting into the room because you're in a sim?
Yes, unfortunately, the lighting in that simulator sucks so bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
Film at a local golf store. It's so
Yeah.
bad. So it's called Modern Golf. They have these string LEDs on the ceiling. We bring in one of our own lights that I can light myself when I do my intros and when I'm talking close up to the camera. But we're really at the mercy of these string LED lights, and sometimes they flicker, which is annoying.
So do you have to
We're
turn
just at the
off
mercy.
your main light then when you're shooting? Like you're shooting your shots. Is the main light off? Does it what's the word? Like
That's a good question. No, I
does it
think
make
we
the
leave it
screen
on the
not
whole
look as
time.
good? Okay. I mean, your lighting looks good today,
Well,
man. So
the
it must have good
screen.
lighting.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, I only got one spotlight on me, and then these 2 behind me, and I have my pot lights on above me. But this is
Oh,
kind
that's
of like
good.
my
Good
studio
lighting.
setup. Anytime I review something in the studio, no, I appreciate it.
Well, that was the first thing I noticed like a year
Yeah,
ago when you did your studio setup. Like you did a review and you used that table, and I was like, what a good angle he's using because you had it like right here, right in front of your face. I think you did the Blue Tees rangefinder, and it was like right there, and I was like, oh, that's a really good angle. Cause that's a hard shot, right? Because you can probably do a top down with the camera and a straight on. Now, are you?
Yeah, so we have a couple tripods right now.
Oh, go ahead.
Go
You have
ahead.
tripods in there too.
Well, yeah, so I have one right above me. You can't see it because my camera won't pick it up, but I'm touching it right now. So
Yeah.
that's my overhead cam. I have a backlight attached to it. I have a boom mic right here, but I have this mic.
Nice.
I could have used either mic, but I thought this would be better for the podcast. We have we've slowly. It started with one light.
No, I know the same
right?
way.
We went on Amazon. We went on Amazon and bought one light, and then we're like, maybe we need 2 lights, and then we've got another camera and a third camera. Like it's just you don't start here now, right? And it's only going to get more a year down the road. It's all the progress and it's all part of the journey. But yeah, that's Felix. Felix always comes over with something new. Hey, check out this. Yesterday he bought a new. We got a camcorder to try to do vlogs, so we can really zoom in on balls. And he
Like a
picked up
really
like a
good
new handle.
camcorder?
So yeah, it's a
Like
good
what kind of
camcorder. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm not the guy to talk gear with. I know that we shoot
No, it's fine.
primarily on Sony, but we have
That's
one
what
or
I
two
shoot too.
Nikons, I think, still in rotation. I think we'll probably switch everything to Sony. It's just so much
Dude, you're gonna blow up this year. I have
better.
a feeling because you look at what you
I
did. I was telling my editor this. I was telling him I had you on my show today, and I was like, bro, like a year and a half ago, he was at like 5,000, and now he's at 22, 23, something like that. I'm like, and it's not like you're playing the shorts game either. We're just publishing a bunch of shorts and trying to, do that thing. It's like he's getting real subs from his content, from his long form. And I mean,
I appreciate that.
that's hard. Like, I don't think people realize how hard that is. Like, yeah, you can blow up a channel with like bullshit. It's pretty easy. But I mean, if you want a real
So
community, that's the hardest thing to do.
totally. And it's so hard to like compare yourselves to other viewers because you don't know what they're going through, what they're doing, how they're getting all these things. I came across someone on Instagram the other day that has a YouTube channel, and he posted a picture with his platinum plaque or a gold YouTube bat, whatever you get for 100K subs. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how have I never seen this? How have I never seen this guy on YouTube? Like, I think I know everyone on YouTube. I go to his page. He's got 104,000 subscribers. I'm like, how have I never seen this guy? So I go to his videos and I populate most popular. His most popular video had 800 views. So I'm like, this
For long
doesn't make
form?
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
long form video. This doesn't make sense. And his shorts weren't very big either. I go to TikTok. He's got 3 million TikTok followers.
Uh,
So I would guess that he ran some type of contest promotion that you had to leave TikTok, go subscribe, and then you get this little plaque. So it's like, that's why to me subscribers are just so clout. The substances in that community that will watch all your videos, and that's the hardest thing to do.
well,
But
that's the
it's so
thing, right? Because you could have like, 200,000 subscribers and you go to a channel and it's all shorts, right? And then you look at the dude's long form and they have like 400 views. And I'm like, no brand is gonna want to pay for that. Like that's not real. I mean, I'm
no.
sorry, I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but I mean, like,
Well,
it's
there's
cool.
no longevity.
There's no longevity. That's right. Like, and I was watching this YouTube video last night where this guy was saying, I was like, I didn't even think about it this way, but really like the hard as a company, how it's so hard to monetize shorts. Like, there's not enough time there for a company to pay for an ad to be put in that thing because it's like switch. And I guess like Facebook released it because like last year, I don't know if you guys anybody knows, like Instagram was like paying people to publish reels, right? And it was like a bonus bullshit system. And like they said that last year they were losing 200 million a quarter just in reels on lost ad revenue because they couldn't, and they stopped the bonus program because they're realizing that reels are not paying. Like, they had to compete with TikTok, but they're losing money to do that. And that's not because of the bonuses. It's just because a company can't really run ads off of that. And I think TikTok, I think YouTube and Instagram are trying to kill TikTok, but I think at the end of the day, it's about long form and a real it's all about community and long form. That's what I really think it is. But I guess the problem, let me ask this question to you is, the hardest part as a YouTube creator is how do you get people to find you, right? Because that's the hardest part, I feel like. Like, what do you think? And how do you try to think?
It always changes, to be honest. At first, we really wanted to get into search. We wanted to get into search-based content. So we did some research into what are golfers searching. So if you Google, and I'd be interested what would happen on your end. If you Google beginner golf lesson, I have the #1 video on Google.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what the
Yeah, so that was our #1 video for a long time. It just got surpassed by a club review, which I'm happier about because we're doing a lot less golf instructional stuff. But that was purely from a search engine strategy that we found what's the most popular search terms, and beginner golf lesson is like #1 by a landslide. So we made a 3-part series. So now we own the space on Google, which is this first or the
You mean
second
Google
biggest search.
search or on YouTube search?
No, Google search. If you
Oh,
Google beginner
dude.
golf lesson, we're the first
So
video that comes up. So that's like a huge funnel of traffic for people to see my stuff. The problem is a beginner golfer, let's say they've golf 3 times in their life. They see my video and then I'm reviewing these 2 players' drivers. They're like, where's the correlation? Like it's that type of
Yeah, I can't
content is
afford
not
that. I'm
for me.
new, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, but so in order for people to find you, there's so many tips and tricks how to do it. The search bar is amazing. If you turn on incognito mode, you go onto YouTube and you just search like golf keywords, search golf, and then see what the next thing that comes up is. It'll probably be golf lesson for beginner. So to get people to find your content, I would make videos based on what you are finding in that search bar. Then what you would do is you would watch a high performing video. So watch a video that's doing really well. So filter it by views. Then you have to come up with a plan to make your video better than that video.
Yep, true.
Right. So the substance of the content still has to outperform the thumbnail, the title, because that's what people are watching. You don't want people to click your thumbnail and be like, oh, this is clickbait, or this guy sucks, or this guy's shooting on a Nokia cell phone or a
Well, yeah, I
Motorola
mean, the
Razor or
first 30
whatever, right?
seconds is the most important. Yeah.
And even mine, like some of my best videos, I only have like 66% of people watching at the 30-second mark. And that's gonna happen for growing channels where
Happens all
there's
the
guys that
time.
are Rick Shields, guys
Are
are
you getting like
fanboys
hockey
and they'll
stick?
watch.
A lot of hockey stick on your retention, you know? Like not
Um,
huge hockey stick, but like, first 30 seconds you get the about 20 or 30% drop and then it flattens out and just stays at that. I mean, that's what I've always seen. I've never had, I mean, I've had a couple of people that had a small hockey stick. And I was like, holy
right.
crap. But like,
That's gonna happen.
that's the
It's
unicorn.
inevitable. Like our channel average is like 66% are watching at 30 seconds, which is normal. And I don't know what it is because we've spent so much time learning hooks, learning different visual cues to put in the first 30 seconds to get the point across right away that you would think on all the work that we've put into, we would have a 95% retention mark at 30 seconds. And it doesn't happen that way. And I think that's just YouTube. So we're still learning. We're hoping to get that
Yeah.
perfect 100% line straight across.
That'll never
Something that we
happen,
just
I don't think.
experienced recently. We had a video sponsor, I'm sure that you saw in our driver bracket series. So it's funny to see all these videos that good retention, and then here's my ad. It drops, and then they fast forward, and then they keep going. So we'll have to test some other videos of similar quality without an ad just to see if it gets pushed even more, because I would assume they're not doing as good because there's a dip in our video. YouTube doesn't like dips, but at the same time, we were compensated for our work. So you kind of have to play that game on making this a full-time job, a living, that you need to still make money and doing this to fuel the next video,
So
right?
here's a good question for you. Cause I think like, you know, when did you start making money, outside of ad revenue? Like, I know I look at your old videos, which are similar to mine. Like, people send you products. Like, obviously, you probably were not paid for that product. They probably just gave it to you, and you're like, all right, cool. It's one new product. We'll talk about it. We'll be part of the conversation, But like, is it hard as now that you're starting to gain momentum to um it's like dating a chick, right? Like you have like the friend category and you have a good chance of hooking up, right? So like, what happens is you get a lot of friends in the friend category, but now you want to like get paid on stuff. People are like, yo, wait a minute, like don't you just want the new whatever? And you're like, well, no, I need to pay for this because we're buying new cameras and we're doing this and you want quality, right? So like as a new YouTube, somebody coming in new to YouTube, like what do you recommend? Or how do you kind of bridge that gap?
That's a really good question. We've probably been getting money or asking for money for products to review for probably about a year. We had to build enough value in our channel that someone would want their product on our channel. So to get into reviews, we reviewed some pretty expensive stuff out of the gate. And what I would do how I would recommend people getting into it if they wanted to do product reviews is to buy the product and then return it after you've reviewed it.
That's smart.
So you could go buy a $2,000 electric push cart, use it for a week. Obviously, find out what the return
I thought they
policy
gave that
is.
to you.
Make a video. Well, they did. Those guys did, but that's just an example right off the top of my head.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap.
We've had some amazing stuff sent to us right now. Like we're getting to the point where we can be pickier with what we want. And a lot of times, like a lot of the products that I reviewed, I wasn't even on the radar of these people. I'm a golf nut and I want golf stuff, and I would use my channel as leverage. So like these push carts. So let's say MGI Zip Navigator.
Yeah.
Did we get that from them? Yeah, we did. So I went to them. I said, hey, I'm looking at doing a review series on electric push carts. Would you be willing to send us your best push cart to be in this review category with this stuff? We do 1 to 5 million views a month. We have this channel. Here's an example of one of our reviews. So I'll send them whatever I thought was my best product placement or ad or review of a product. And if they liked it, they'd respond. And if they didn't, I wouldn't hear from them. And
Move on.
80%, 90% of companies I would hear back from, and they have no problem sending me product because so many more companies are putting money spend into influencer marketing as opposed to old school marketing, because it was not cheap to take out a newspaper ad, a TV ad, pop-up ad. It's way cheaper for them to send me a free product to review. The longevity of that video is going to make their money back in days. I've probably sold more Zip Navigator electric carts than I even know about because I don't even have an affiliate link for them. That was still at the infancy for our channel where I didn't have enough leverage to ask for money, to ask for a promo code, to make any type of
Well, you might not even known
alignment.
too. Like you might not even known, like as a new YouTuber, like, oh, we do have a program. You're like, oh, I have a
Yeah.
lot of links like that too, where I'm just like, well, you guys got whatever sales have gone through. I have no idea. Hopefully, it worked out.
Yeah, and then they're more willing to work with you long time to send you new products, and then you can start saying, "Hey, how many Zip Navigators were sold with my promo code?" So now we're getting to the point where we can ask for affiliate links because we want to track the metrics on what we're selling. So, like a good example of a very well-known brand would be Blue Tees rangefinders. Do you have a Blue Tees link? Do you
Yeah.
promote them? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have been. We made one video for them a year and a half ago, and we sell like 50 to 60 rangefinders a month just off of that one video that we did.
Video.
And we
Yeah,
get
your
a
video crushes. I did a similar video like a month ago, and it didn't really get picked. I mean, it's in search, but it's not like 20,000 views like yours. Like probably 2,000.
right. Yeah, so that's just like one example where now we can start to track, okay, like our video is extremely valuable because do the math on whatever 12 months times 50 rangefinders, is that 600, I think, off the top of my head, 600 rangefinders a year, rangefinders $300, like that money adds up. So if there's something not
Quick,
coming
yeah.
back to us, we're the sales force, and to have to be in professional sales and business to business sales, like there has to be something in it for me. And that's kind of how I've tied my background into professional sales to now working with these companies to at least compensate us. At the same time, being a product reviewer you walk an extremely fine line on taking compensation from companies if you don't believe in their product. So there's been instances on the channel where the money sometimes looks better than the actual product. And the last thing that I
Really?
want to do is lie to my audience. I don't want to deceive them. I don't want them to think I'm a sellout. So now we've gotten to the point where we will only take on products that I would use myself. And if they're willing to compensate me or compensate us or give us an affiliate link,
Yeah.
there has to be, it's got to be a win-win for the both of us. So it's taken us a year to get to that spot, and I'm excited for what the future holds. The one thing that we don't take any compensation from is the big OEM manufacturers.
They're not even
Because
talking to you.
we talk to a lot of them, actually. Yeah, we do talk to them. Some are a lot
What?
better. Some are a lot better to us than
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
Some won't return. Some don't give a
No.
fuck about
I was
us, right?
told once, I'm not gonna say who it was. I swear to God, this is what they said to me. They said, "It's not you, it's us. That's why we can't work with you." And I was like, "Are we like in junior high? Are we breaking up? Like, what's happening here?"
Yeah, it's well, they'll come back around. You make enough noise. I had that exact same conversation with someone when we were smaller. I don't know if I'd be okay to say it. Maybe you can edit it or put a bleep over it. But it was Titleist. I went to Titleist and I said, I'm looking for a new driver for this year. We have this channel. I'm trying to use my channel as leverage to try to get some stuff. And they kind of wrote back to me. They said, you know what? You're not quite our demographic. Something along those lines. Then we had some product reviews take off. And they came back to us a year later and said, we want to set you up with a Titleist fitting. And that video has crushed it on our page. It's done really good. We talk to them all the time. They'll send me a driver. Like I wouldn't take no as
That's
a no
cool.
forever. Right. And if
No,
you just
no, you
keep, you
can't
just
do
keep,
that. Yeah.
you keep your head down, you keep doing good stuff, people are going to notice you. I talk to people, we talk to almost all manufacturers. They've all been really good to us. Some manufacturers have been a lot better to us. We went to I don't mind saying Cobra Puma invited us to an exclusive tournament to go play with Ricky Fowler and Kygo in Miami. And this was like a year ago when we were still like super up and comers. We were there with like Matt from TXG, and they obviously pretty much own the club review space. And this is something that every manufacturer does, because we're talking with Matt. Matt was just in Mexico with TaylorMade. You know, they're all trying to get on your good side, because at the end of the day, they understand how valuable our videos are in selling products. It all comes down to money, right?
Do you feel so? What is your niche right now? Are you trying to figure out where you lie? Because it's like, I feel like that's the hard part too in product review. Like you could do a million different things, but like, back to the whole silo thing, it's like it really gets siloed down. So like, oh, you're the guy. YouTube treats you as the guy that does this. Like if TXG did a rangefinder tomorrow, that video would tank. It'd probably get like 400 views. And you can go to any YouTuber's channel and you can see when a YouTuber's tried something outside of their norm, and it always does like a third or half as good as. So are you starting to see where you're starting to fall, like in the eyes of the algorithm?
Yep. So what we're considering doing, and it's funny because Felix is right here behind me, eavesdropping on our conversation. And
have him come in. I want to have him wave. Have him wave. I want to see him.
He wants to see you. Do you want to come wave really quick? He'll come over. Here's the face behind all of the amazing quality that we've done.
What's up, dude? What's going on?
That's Felix.
Nice meeting you.
He says, "Nice to meet you."
Nice to meet you, Paul.
He says vice versa. He doesn't love being in front of the camera, but he's so good behind the camera. I need him there, and I can't let him leave me.
No,
but
yeah, you cannot leave.
Yeah, don't leave me. But talking about content going into considering doing is making a couple channels. So we could keep New Nine as New Nine Reviews. We could have New Nine Vlogs. There's no right answer.
Yeah, I tried that. Like I split off and I did like shorts channel only, and then I did like a podcast channel. But what problem is this is what I found is you start diversifying you're not big enough. You know what I mean? And no, this is not to you, but it's like me saying to myself, like, you're not big enough. Now you have to run 3 separate things to try to get 3, I don't know, like until you're at 100,000 or at 1 million, then you can start doing it, because those people come over. Some of them will, but it's almost like you're starting from scratch each time. You
are and you aren't. I think if we were to try it, our quality's gotten there. Some people have come onto the scene. Like there's those guys, the name is falling off the tip of my tongue. They do those skits on Instagram, on social media. They're like super dry. What are they called? Andre St.
The funny
Andre.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah.
St. Andre Golf. They came onto the scene. Now they were each all comedians, each had their own following, but the quality that they put out was so good. They didn't have to figure anything out. You put out banger content, the subscribers, the views, it's all going to come. So I think we have a big enough skill set that if we just made a vlog channel and only did vlogs, and you're only following New Nine Vlogs to watch our vlogs, I would hope that we get put into the box of the vlog channel. We're trying to build a big enough loyal subscribership that we're kind of taking the Rick Shields route, if you will. That Rick Shields did a ton of club reviews, he did a ton of lesson series.
That's where he started.
And now he can do whatever the fuck he wants, right? So we're kind of just seeing what we can do, seeing what takes off, because at the end of the day, you just have to double down on what's working. So these club reviews are working, product reviews are working. We can't leave those behind, because we're starting to build trust in an audience. That if someone wants to buy something, they might search New Nine Golf blue tees, New Nine Golf, whatever. I see it in the search history, so I can't let those people down and only do other content. But if we're going to make the content anyway, we're just uploading it under a different YouTube studio, is kind of how I look at it.
Somebody recommended to me once, they said, like, what you can do is like 2 to 1, right? So you like 2 your normal stuff and then 1 the test, right? A vlog or whatever. And it's like, so that it's always the same kind of pattern. So like if it doesn't do well, it's okay, because you're still get a chip at that, right? You can get to that to start creating content that you might want to do that otherwise might not perform well. But I mean, it's smart. I mean, it's always worth trying. What's the worst case scenario?
We do so much trial and fail that we only know what we know now, because we failed at a whole bunch of stuff, and we're going to continue to fail at things because we have a goal that we're going to get to. And if it takes us a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, that we're kind of just going to enjoy the ride.
So what's your plans this year? Like, what do you plan on working on this year?
So golf season just started. We Played our first couple rounds this week. So we are going full guns ablazing, trying to perfect or try to get a lot better at shooting course vlogs. We kind of break it down into two categories shooting course vlogs. One is the technical aspect that we need to get our camcorder working because the bar has been set so high by good as far as like a quality
Yeah, it can't be
perspective.
garbage. You can't be filming on a phone
So we
with
need
some blurry ass shit.
I can put a camera behind me, I can shoot it, and I can put a shot tracer on it, no problem. I've done it in my current course vlogs, but what you can't see is the ball landing at the green. So we need another videographer by the green that can watch that because people have learned in watching good that that's what you should expect in seeing a golf match. So there's the technical aspect. So right now, Felix and I are going to go out, shoot a couple rounds. He's going to play with the camcorder. We're going to play multi shots. We're going to understand the process better on how we can technically shoot a good course vlog. The second part of it is the substance. What how do people gravitate towards good? So they have, and Bob does sports or Spit and Chicklets. I don't know if you've ever seen any of their Sandbagger invitationals. They're hockey guys that do golf content, but these guys, the substance of the personalities of the guys that are golfing is kind of the core on how people are relating to these guys. So someone watches good, they might not be a Matt, but they might, be a Steven and they relate to Steven. Or someone might hate Steven and they love Matt, or however it all works out, right? So we're trying to come up with maybe a team, or we might try some guys. I golf with some fucking hilarious guys. I golf with guys that if it was recorded, we'd be a million views, I think, right? But the second you put a camera on them and say, okay, be funny, is so different. So introducing people onto my channel that haven't been on before will be extremely new. But moving forward this summer, we're really trying to bang out a lot more on-course stuff.
Would you hire more videographers so that Felix can like direct more people, like if that was what needs to be done?
Yeah,
Or like you
that's
feel
that.
like you're at that point where you're gonna be like, okay, we can hire a second shooter.
Yeah, it's gonna get to that
Um,
point. It's definitely gonna get there. And I can direct too. Like we also run a media company. This is a side thing where he'll shoot and I'll direct. Like if I'm doing like a corporate video, I'm kind of directing everyone.
yeah.
So I can still direct people. This is still our baby, and we can tell people where to go. But to get a
The cool is
kid
you
to
see,
sit,
you guys know what you're doing. That's the key. Is like you know what you're doing. You just have to go and do it and like learn from the little mistakes. Like, oh, next time we should have a second shooter down there. We should have a guy, two people following us,
yeah,
whatever it is. But until you spend a couple months, doing it, you're not gonna know really.
no,
Because I think you
it's
guys have the editing down. The editing's off the hook. You guys doing
I
a really good
appreciate that.
job editing. You're like, I mean, the multi-camera shots are great. It's entertaining. Your videos are longer, like like over 10 minutes, but like you're engaged the whole time. It's not like, oh my God, dude, this guy's going on forever about this damn thing. It's like, no, it's like you're still always kind of engaged with what's going on. So I think you guys have all that down for sure. I
Well,
think it'd be
thanks.
cool with the encores.
We're gonna get there. It's funny, those videos that come out to 12 minutes, they start as an hour and a half.
Oh
And I
yeah.
was like, okay, how can we get this to a half hour? And then what can we trim? We're constantly trimming stuff. And we both watch, we're like, oh, we should have cut this, should have cut this, should have cut this. But one of our number one performing video is like 40 minutes. Which is
Really?
yeah.
Was it like the instruction video?
No, we did game improvement iron reviews.
I
So
saw that. Like 5 best game improvement irons. I think blew up.
yes, I think I can't remember how he
You
did
know,
if it was 8, but
you
it
know what
was
I
the
wonder? I'm actually gonna have another YouTuber on the show on Monday, Breaking 80. I don't know if you've seen his stuff
yep.
too. He's
Yep. Yeah, we talk.
and so like I know it's like a lot of his videos too, like has done like the guides, you know what I mean? But well, like your improvement irons video is the same kind of thing where it's like a very well shot guide, like the best stuff, not like a stupid like, B-roll city with some guy talking in the background and it's like fake, you know what I mean? With
Yeah.
techno
Yeah.
music playing.
Yeah.
Um it's almost like cutting to the chase, right? Like cutting the chase where people just want the information. Like, what do I buy right now? Not I feel like there's two different kinds of buyers, right? The guy that wants to know more about the new product, and there's a guy who's like, I want to buy today. I don't know what to buy. So which one do I buy? Oh, this one looks pretty cool. I'll buy that
Yep.
one. So I guess one last question for you before we go. What if you were a new YouTuber or new to this world, what would you recommend to somebody how to start?
Good question. there's so much you can do with your cell phone, and everyone has a cell phone. So you can get your first 1,000 subscribers shooting on a cell phone, I think.
For sure.
What I would also recommend is to learn. So how do you learn YouTube? It's a good question.
Ask Felix.
Yeah. Well, so I'll tell
Call
you exactly
Felix.
what I'll tell you exactly what we did. We bought a course called Full-Time Filmmaker. I shouldn't even be plugging this. It is from Felix isn't here.
Is it that guy? Is it that guy who you always see the ads running? Where it's like he's
Probably.
talking or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name? It's gonna bug me. Anyway,
It's okay.
we bought a course for beginners to learn videography. Because if you want to have a successful video channel, you're gonna have to do a lot of this stuff yourself before you can hire a bunch of people, right?
That's
So
true.
I would do research online on like YouTube courses, filmmaker courses, editing courses. I would buy those courses and fully immerse yourself. Commit to learning this stuff because it'll teach you from A to Z how to do everything it is that we do. And you're going to constantly get better. You're going to learn and then apply, learn, apply, learn, apply, learn, apply, learn, apply. There's so much free information out there on YouTube that eventually you're just going to overwhelm yourself because one person says go left and the other person says go right, and they both have 500,000 views. So how do you know which person to listen to?
Exactly.
I would invest in a course, do some research, and just and commit to that course. The hardest thing is the first 30, 90 days. The first day you're so excited. You're like, I just started a YouTube channel. I'm going to shoot. I have all these ideas. I'm going to do it. They film it all. And then they're like, well, I don't know how to edit. So then you got to learn how to edit. You have to learn just so much stuff. But if you just stay committed, if you have an end goal in mind, just understand that all your failures are going to be part of your success. Like, to just do it, to quote Nike, is kind of the best advice that I could do. That we failed so much and I could just keep doing what I was doing 5 years ago or 3 years ago, but being involved in this industry to talk to people like you, like-minded guys that have similar goals and aspirations, and you can pick each other's brains.
Yeah, share. Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, did this work? This work? Yeah.
Try to be friends with people that do stuff, or reach out to your favorite content creators and see how they got into it. Like, I think the majority of us all check our DMs, the big guys, the small guys. Like, I've been amazed at the people that I've been able to talk to in this industry. I'm sure you have as well. Like, the worst thing you could do is shoot your shot, because the worst thing that they could say is no. So if they say no, you move on to the next thing. So I would just say, stay hungry, stay motivated, learn, and just keep doing.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. I mean, like, honestly, like I said, I've been a fan for a while. You guys have to check out New Nine. Like, he's blowing up. I mean, I bet you're gonna hit 50,000 by the end of the year. That's what I think. Personally.
I appreciate it. That's the goal.
That's
That was our goal. Yeah.
I can see it because I mean, you had the momentum. Like, you found the secret sauce. Like, I think that's the hardest part for a YouTuber, is to find out what that sauce is and what do I need to work on, right? And get better at that. And I think you guys have really hit it in the last, I would even say like 9 months. You can see the progression of the content gotten so much. I mean, I'm not saying it was bad before, but like it's gotten so much better.
I appreciate you saying that. Thanks, Paul.
And the thumbnails are really good too, by the way. Who's doing that? Are you? Felix? No crap. Bro, you gotta Felix is like the man over there. He's behind the camera, like whatever.
Yeah,
but
he is.
Well, thank you for being on the show today. Where can people find you?
So you can find me majorly on Instagram at New9. So it's spelled N-I-N-E, New9 Golf. You can find me on YouTube under the same name, New9 Golf. That's usually where I hang out. Our website is new9golf.com. Our big drop is coming in the middle of May. You can sign up to my newsletter on my website to get the notification when that drops, because I don't think the stuff is going to last. High quality stuff, but anyone new that's never heard of me before, I'm looking forward to getting to know you guys.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Paul. That was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. And you keep doing what you're doing. You're killing it too. So hopefully we're at the finish line together. Looking forward to golfing for sure.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Cheers.